I'm Dan DeSteno with Nova Computer Solutions. We're based in the Mid-Atlantic region, just outside of Washington, D.C., in Northern Virginia, and we are a dental-specific technology provider, MSP, and we've been in business just this coming March will be 24 years. I feel that one of the other benefits of working with MSP Atlas is how MSP Atlas started. It was started by an MSP owner that realized that they needed and they were able to find this remote help. And so in knowing that this was started by an MSP that understands the challenges of what every MSP, what we've all gone through and what we're all going through, especially when it comes to firing good qualified talent, I felt like it was even a better fit from that standpoint. They know what we're going through, and they know the type of people that we're looking for when you want to provide good quality service to your partners. As we all know out there, it is hard to find good talent, and then retain that good talent is sometimes even more difficult. And our business, I'll jump back to maybe 2018, 2019. Our business was growing, our marketing and sales were working better than they had been in years, and we needed to add more IT talent. We were struggling trying to find good folks from the initial phase of recruiting them to even getting them all the way through the hiring process with our interview process and clearing a background check. And so we were working with a provider at the time that had a solution that they could provide us for remote assistance and remote talent, and they were going to be part of our team. We engaged them and we brought someone on and trained them up just like we would any of our help desks that are here locally, and worked with them, and they worked our same hours and just reintegrated them into part of the team. Unfortunately, with that provider, it just didn't work out as time went on, and thankfully we found MSP Atlas. So what we've done with MSP Atlas is we've even expanded on what we were doing with the previous solution, and brought on even more technicians. If I were to tell you a few things that MSP Atlas brings to an MSP, I would say they're doing one of the biggest things and one of the most time-consuming things that you can do, which is vet any prospective hire. They go through the interview process. They give them skills assessment tests. They do the personality tests, and save you all of that time and you going through that while you're trying to run your business. That's one of the biggest things that they've had. Another really great aspect of MSP Atlas is that they have their own supervisor. So we haven't had any real challenges with any of their technicians, but if we did, we could go directly to their supervisor and speak with them, just like I would if I wanted to talk to, if I had an issue with one of our help desk team members, I'd go to our service manager and speak to the service manager about it. So you have that same continuity. Those are two of the items. Another aspect of what's really great about MSP Atlas is that they will provide you weekly reports on everything that technician's doing. Let's be honest, these technicians are not in our office. We can't walk into the help desk and see what they're doing. So having that insight where we get these reports and it shows the active time in certain applications, if they were on the internet, if they were doing anything, along with other reports on their productivity, so that we can have that for us, not only for our metrics because they're part of our team, but also for our ability to ensure that their realization and they're working appropriately. So another huge advantage of working with MSP Atlas is the cost of the talent that they'll provide to you. So we have several technicians that we work with MSP Atlas. And from, as I mentioned earlier, from that initial engagement, hey, we need to bring on another technician, from the start of that to acquiring or hiring that technician, you spend a lot of time money and energy in going through that process. And again, MSP Atlas is taking care of all that. So you have that savings of all of your time. You're able to focus on what you need to, because they're going out there and vetting those candidates for you. I can even give you an example. We were hiring a service coordinator here recently, and we had gone through a bunch of applicants. We've found one, multiple interviews. On the last interview, we talked about their background check. They said, "Oh, my background check's going to be great." So we sent them an offer letter the next day, contingent on their background check. Well, guess what? The background check came back, and there were things on there that they never said, never noted, and we had to scrap that prospect, even though we spent the 40 plus hours between all of our team interviews and the money that we spent on hiring them. Right there at the last moment, we lost. That's not something that I worry about when it comes to hiring from MSP Atlas, because they're doing all that legwork there and bringing you the candidates at the end so that you have your opportunity to interview them and go through any of your normal process. Which makes it just much nicer from that standpoint, and it saves a tremendous amount of money. They're part of our team, and not only are the MSP Atlas technicians part of our team, but they are partner facing. We have a partner here in Maryland that had a large Microsoft 365 project, and one of our MSP Atlas team members is the lead on that, client-facing, had multiple meetings without any of the senior leadership even on the call, because we trust and believe in his talent and his expertise. And that's something that I didn't expect to have when I went down this journey. I didn't really expect to have them as partner-facing as we have had them. In my mind, I guess I was just limiting, they're going to be remote support and they're going to be working in the background. But we found that their abilities and expertise, and even overcoming some of the communication, has really been has been outstanding. So the ability of MSP Atlas to give us the flexibility to add additional technicians has really been fantastic. Again, it seems like it's a recurring theme of what I'm saying. The money and time that it saves us from not having to go through that hiring process and find qualified technicians, and the cost a lot of times that goes with that. If you're hiring a recruiter, you're going to pay 20% of their annual salary, or even in excess of that in some cases. Not having to worry about that expense and having those team members come to us and be able to hire them from that standpoint, and then the ongoing, the overall economics of that team member is considerably lower than it would be if we were to bring in a team member here and have them in on our help desk. Not having to worry about HR issues, not having to worry about any of those items. The payroll didn't work, or they're negotiating more sick days, or whatever the case may be. That's all taken care of by MSP Atlas. We're able to focus on what are our needs and reaching out to them and having them help fill those needs for us as we grow our business and as we scale. So currently we're looking at adding more team members. We had a meeting yesterday or on Wednesday with our operations manager, and we decided that based on where we are and our realization rate with all of our help desks currently, we're going to reach out to MSP Atlas and add 2 more technicians and fill probably the remainder of our help desk all with MSP Atlas technicians. Because I believe as we add a few more, we're going to adjust some of their time so that in non-core working hours, we may have 1 or 2 technicians running updates and ensuring that the systems are up to date, subsidizing or back helping our local help desk technicians to take care of all of what they need to do as well. Another concern, and let's just get real about this, it's the economics of hiring. It's the economics of maintaining that team member, not only from a benefit standpoint, time off, and then worrying that they're going to jump ship and leave and go to another MSP after they get a couple years of good experience and you really coach them up. That concern for us has, almost all of those concerns have been alleviated in this. from the standpoint of maybe paying for a technician that you really needed because you couldn't find anyone else, and maybe you paid a little bit more for them than what they deserved or what you would normally pay. I think kind of having remote technicians balances that out quite a bit because of the cost of the remote technician. And it's, let's just say it's probably for a tier 2 technician where we're at, we are probably 50% less than what we would normally pay just in a salary standpoint, not take into consideration all of the benefits and payroll taxes and all of those additional items. That also is a hugely attractive aspect of this. So if you can find a technician that's going to do great work for you, be partner facing, save you some money, you don't have to worry about hiring and going through the process and vetting those candidates, and you have all of your HR taken care of by MSP Atlas. I mean, it sounds like it's a win-win-win-win-win. And that's really the way we felt about it in our engagement with MSP Atlas. They've just done a great job. MSP Atlas is not going to provide you technicians that are going to be able to go on site and physically install that computer. But what they do bring to the table is what any other help desk technician is going to do for you. When your on-site technician, or when our on-site technicians are on site, and they connect that computer, the teams, our help desk, they ensure that they see the box at the client site, and then they can go ahead and start installing software, doing whatever we need to do. So they're certainly not going to replace that project technician or the field technician that you have, but they absolutely complement your help desk and your field technicians, because they're virtually right alongside them doing the same work and helping the team get the project done. Again, if I could leave you with anything, I would absolutely tell you to consider how much it costs for you to bring on a help desk technician. What are those costs? Mark that down, because that's money you're going to be saving. What does it cost to manage that help desk technician? Because you should mark that down, because that's money you're absolutely going to be saving. When you need to scale and you need to add those technicians quickly, and you don't have the time, or your operations manager doesn't have the time to do that interviewing, mark that time down that you saved, because you're not going to have to worry about that. What you will have is a good quality technician that can be partner facing, that's going to help you scale and grow your MSP without a lot of the headaches, and honestly probably the vast majority of the headaches that you would have if you're bringing and dealing with all of these issues and challenges on site. And then the last thing I would say is the economics of it. You're going to probably save, at least in our area, and certainly different geographical areas, you're not going to maybe save as much. And then there's other geographical areas that you probably save even more than we do based on salaries. But in our neck of the woods, we're probably at about a 50% savings just in a salary standpoint, not to mention all of your additional payroll taxes, insurance, all of those items. Along with a handful of other things that I've mentioned here on this are really the real reasons why we use MSP Atlas, and we'll continue to use them.